do a session on the reporting functions of oneHR. So if you can see here on the left-hand menu, we have two areas on oneHR for reporting. So we have an area that's simply called reports, and an area called custom data reports. Now this session specifically will focus on data extracts, which can be found in the custom data reports section. So I just click on that. Now, this is an area where basically you can run a report on any information or data that's on the system, and you have the ability to essentially customize what it is you want the report to say. Um, so you can, pull that information into one area, which is, a lot easier than potentially going through each employee's profile individually and looking for that information. It's quick, it's easy, it's accurate. And then there is also the ability to save these reports on the system or export them into an Excel spreadsheet if you want to use them externally and things like that. So what we'll do today is I'll show you how to create, run, and then store a custom data extract. So as we said, custom data reports is the tab to jump on, and then from here we have the drop-down menu. Now, two things you can do here. You can run a report on any of this information that you see here in the sort of drop-down menu. So obviously you have an area for employees, for admin, leave and absence, and then of course the auto HR and auto save, which are the sort of automated processes on oneHR. We also have custom extracts. Now, if I just click on that, these are the reports that have previously been ran in this area, and then they've been saved. So I'll show you how to do it in a moment, but if you were to run a report that's sort of maybe quite regular, but you want it to be sort of customize it, you can save it, and then you can access it again the next month from this area here. So first thing I'll do is I'll just click on this button here, create custom extract. So click on that, and then this presents us with a number of filters. And this is where you can basically set the report to contain the information that you're looking to run a report on. So the first thing we can do is we can choose between current and former employees. So obviously current employees are the ones that are currently using the system. Any former employees are those who have been archived. So you can run information, or you can pull information on both of these. So we'll stick with current for now. Again, you can filter by department. Do you want it to be a specific department, or do you want all departments? So in this case, we'll do all departments just to flesh out the report. And then here, if you click in this section here called extract columns, this is where you can pick and choose the information that you want on this report. So one thing that I always like to show potential new clients or existing clients when I do a demo of oneHR, I always specifically go to the emergency contacts area. And obviously this is super important to have everybody's emergency contact details to hand. Obviously on the system within the employee profile, there is the ability for employees to input their emergency contact details. But as I mentioned before, it's maybe quite time consuming if you've got a big sort of head count, like quite a big sort of workforce, and you're scrolling through or you're trying to access someone's profile to find emergency contact, or several people's, it could take quite a bit of time. So if you came to the custom data reports area and created a custom data extract to run a report on all employees' emergency contact details, and obviously within the information section, the first name, last name, and department of all employees is a sort of default function on this report, obviously, so you can identify who the information belongs to. But of course, you can add anything else in that you want. So something like user roles, for example, or maybe a job role. We'll do job role. Let's pop that in. And then, as I said before, there's plenty of other bits and pieces you can pop in. Address from the overview section, sort of leave remaining, Bradford factor score if you wanted to run a sort of more specific absence report, things like that. And obviously further down here, you've got all those other areas, which are all can be found within the employee profile. These are all the different sections. So if we were just to do emergency contacts with obviously the job role added in, we've now set, as you can see here, it says +7. So they're all the columns and all the information that we've set. And then two options here. The first one is you can hit submit, and obviously that will then pull that report for you. So if I hit submit, you can see here all of that information, or all the information that's been inputted onto oneHR. So obviously you can see here, some employees don't have any of that information within their profile, but if the information's there, you can pull that report and it'll pop into this report for you. So you can see the job role, and then you can see the emergency contact details relating to all of those employees. So you've run that report with the information that you want. You can now export this. So if you click that button, it will download this report as an Excel spreadsheet. You can then obviously edit and save that Excel spreadsheet to your own device or laptop, whatever it may be. And obviously that is there for external use as you see fit. The next option you can do is you can save this report. So if I just click save, you'll be prompted by this pop-up to input a name for this report. So let's just call it custom emergency contact details report. Now you don't have to call it something that long. It could just be report one or whatever it may be. But this is obviously what you'll see when, as I mentioned before, you try and find previously saved reports. So this one, custom emergency contact details report. I'll press save. Now this extract has been saved. So if I just press this little X here, this will clear all the filters and basically you'll start from scratch. So if I clear that, start from scratch. Now, if I want to find that emergency contact details report that we just created and saved, I'll find it here in the custom extracts. And here you can see custom emergency contact details report. So I'll click on that, hit submit again, and obviously that'll pull the information. Obviously, whenever you run this report, if there is sort of new employees that have signed or if current employees have updated their information, whenever you run it, it will be the most up-to-date information. And then we have a couple of options here. So we can choose to delete this report if it's no longer relevant or if it's completely out of date. And then obviously that will remove it from the custom extracts section within the drop-down menu that I just showed you. We also have the ability to update this report. So, oh, sorry, if I wanted to add something else in, let's say I wanted to add a email address for all employees to be added to this report. Let's pop in if they are a fire marshal as well, just to see what that looks like. And then you can hit update, and then you can hit submit. And now, as you can see, that additional information, the email and the fire marshal has been added to this report. And then again, these updates have now been saved. So if I was to again, you can export that again, as I mentioned, as an Excel spreadsheet. But if I was to clear all filters and then once again, as I said before, in the custom extract section of this area, custom emergency contact details report, hit submit, and obviously you have that additional information that you've wanted to pop in. So it's a really good tool to quickly and accurately pull information from the system. And obviously, if you wanted to keep some of this information, emergency contact details, for example, externally for maybe you wanted to print it out and pop it on your desk or something like that, it's a much easier way than potentially running through every single employee's profile and pulling that information separately. So the custom data reports area is a really handy tool. And again, you can run reports on anything that you find within this drop-down menu. You can create as many custom extract reports as you wanted. You can update them, you can export them, and you can delete them if they're no longer relevant. but they can all be found here. And then if you wanted to run a report on some of the sort of other areas of the system, as you can see here, we have all these different options that I briefly ran through. So if I wanted to get, let's just go with emergency contacts again from this area, obviously all departments and current employees submit. This is if you didn't want to create your own report, you can run this one straight from the drop down menu. But obviously, if you wanted to tailor it and things like that, you wouldn't be able to save this one. You'd have to create your own to then save it and then sort of update and export at a later date as you see fit. And that is pretty much everything you need to know about the data extract section on oneHR. What I will do is I'll quickly run through the reports area on oneHR as well, just to give you a sort of a brief insight into what it looks like and how to use it basically. So if anyone does have any additional questions about the custom extracts or would like to jump on another call later down the line to have a sort of one-to-one session on this or any other areas of the system, please just let me know. And yeah, absolutely, we can run through that. So yeah, that's the custom data reports. The other area that of reporting on oneHR is an area just called reports. Now, there are three sort of set templates for reports in this area. So these are what we found to be the most commonly ran reports. So we have leave report, we have a turnover report, and we have the absence report. This area is obviously, as it says, saved reports. So if you run any of these three reports, depending on the sort of the date, the dates that you put in, you can save these reports and you can access them here. Obviously, there's one here from January to December 2023, which you can come back and access. So let's just jump into the absence report, for example, just to show you what it looks like. You view this report, and then from the filters here, again, you can basically set what you want your report to look like. Again, you can toggle between current and former employees, and filter by department, any and all. So if I just do the sales department in this particular one, and then with the different types of leave, if Bradford factor is something that's turned on your oneHR account, the default filter for this will be any leave types that do affect the Bradford factor score. Obviously, you can chop and change that. You can add appointments in. You can add any of the leave that's available. But for now, if I just do, let's pop appointments in just to flesh it out a little bit. So you set your leave types, and then obviously you then have your date range. Now this can be any, it could be one day, it could be a week, month, it could be a year. So what we'll do is we're in August, so we'll do August 13th to August 13th. Oh, excuse me. And then that is a 12-month report that we've just set. Hit submit. And as you can see, all the relevant information relating to all the staff in the sales department has now been pulled into this report. And obviously, as I showed you on the previous one, you can export this as an Excel spreadsheet for external use. You can also save it. So I click save. Absence report, let's just do August 24 to August 25. I can hit save, and that report has now been saved. And as I mentioned before, if I was to go back, let's just quickly jump off and jump back on. In the saved reports, you can find it here. Absence report, August 24 to August 25. And the process is exactly the same with the leave report and the turnover report. You just go in, you set your different filters and the date range. So on leave report, for example, select the departments that you want to obviously be included in the report. And in this one, it comes out in a sort of a ring report, sort of a pie chart, but not really, more of a nice jazzy one with all the different colors and things like that. So, and obviously here it will give you the specific breakdown of information in the little sort of the table there. So, oh, so this is the reporting functions on oneHR. Um, as I mentioned, the custom data report section is really handy for quickly pulling important information, especially if you have quite a big workforce. It saves time. And then obviously we have the reports area, which has those three set templates on the most commonly run reports that we found. And obviously you can run those reports, save those reports, edit those reports in terms of the custom data extracts. And then you can also export any report to an Excel spreadsheet, which you can then use for external use. So what I'll do now is I'll just say, if anybody has any questions at all, please let me know in the chat. If not, my email is michael@onehrsoftware.com, and that's one as in the word one. So I'm sure that'll be available with this video as well. Be on our website, or if you wanted to message the the support desk for any information. So I'll just show you that quickly. On all profiles, regardless of your access level, if you click on this little chat box icon here and then send us a message, that will come straight to our support desk, which our team sort of monitor during working hours. So if you have any additional questions on reports or anything else on the system, please do drop us a message in here with those questions or those queries. And then if there are any specific areas of oneHR that you feel would that you'd benefit from having a bite session in the future, again, just drop us a message in the chat and we'll consider all sort of all options. Thank you all for coming and for listening. And yeah, have a brilliant day.